physics, the law of conservation of mass says matter cannot be destroyed or created. It can only be changed from one form to another. The same physics also will tell us, or at least theorizes, that the universe started from nothing. So within the given system and time frame, the law of physics might work, but at some time it didn't. So there are things that can be destroyed. There are things that cannot be destroyed. Destroyed meaning their existence will be no more. It's hard for us to imagine that, given that the law of conservation of mass tells us that no such thing exists. The earth may not exist a billion years or 4 billion years from now in this form, but it would have been changed, just like all living things do not exist, but then they become something else. In some cultures, when humans pass, they become part of the dirt. In other cultures, in ours for instance, we use vibhuti to remind ourselves that that's what we become, ash. But here in the Bhagavad Gita, next 3 verses, Krishna says, everything will eventually be gone. Those are the perishables, or those are the things that are not part of the Creator. The only thing for us to define what a Creator is, or we call Supreme Entity, Krishna, God, is the one that does not change, remains constant, before the universe, after the universe. That's what is specified in this verse. And in fact, there is mention of 3 lokas, lokatrayam avishya. In that verse, it says, yo lokatrayam avishya. What are the 3 lokas? There are lots of confusion about it. If you read different websites or different books, will tell you different things. My understanding is what is mentioned in the Gayatri Mantra, Bhur, Bhuva, Svah. Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, and Svarloka. What are those 3 things? They are not places where we go to. It is the 3 states of our conscience. It's not too far from the modern science. So most of the times we live in this Bhuloka, survival. That's what is in our conscience. The second is a more enlightened state, Bhuvarloka. That is when we are almost feeling like the devas. In our culture, we do talk about Devloka, which is the second one. And we imagine Devaloka means it will be always we'll be happy and we'll have everything plenty, and there will be apsaras for men and there will be indras for women, and all that kind of imagination, a fantasy. None of that is necessary if it is a state of mind, state of consciousness. What it is that we get to a stage where none of these worldly things would matter that much. Even further training of that conscience can take us even higher, and that's the Svarloka, where we are blissful, completely enlightened. We are very close to actually reaching the Supreme Entity. All that happens within our lifetime, perhaps, within our brain. That's the way I understand the next 3 verses where Krishna says, I am not part of anything that can be destroyed. I am beyond that. I am supreme. And that is the reason why I am called Supreme Entity. I am beyond these 3 lokas. What does that mean? Within our conscience, we can reach these levels by discipline and all the other things that we have been hearing in the other chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Through practice, we can raise ourselves from just simply surviving to a different levels of conscience, the ultimate one being part of the creation itself.